thing we want to cover tonight, our goal is web service contract. This is one of the most important part for as a QA. So because as a QA, when you start your job, if you are hired as a web service tester, the first thing you look for is this contract document. So tonight we'll discuss about how this contract document is prepared, what are the things we need to consider, and step by step. We'll go over like first couple of examples, and similar thing you will do as a homework. I saw many good homework tonight, so thank you. Thank you for doing the homework for last week, because last week we discussed about what is web service and how it works and all. We kind of give a high level overview. But tonight we are really doing the work as a web service developer or as a web service tester person can do. And that's what we're gonna talk about. So contract document is one of the, I would say, starting point. So think about if you're a QA and if you want to write test cases, the first thing you do is look for use case document. Yes or no? Here you look for contract document. Now there are a couple of ways people do contract document. One, they create Excel, or they create a JSON, or they use some tool like Swagger. So they use some tool. So the Swagger tool, such kind of tools they use. Again, at the end of the day, it's all about JSON. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about how we write for contract, how we write payload. So payload, there are two aspects of payload. One is request, and one is response. Request, any problem? Request versus response. So these three things we will talk about it. Contract document, Excel. Mostly our focus will be writing in JSON, but we'll talk about how to write contract document. You can write in Word document also. Again, whichever works for you. Majority people write in an Excel or Word document. JSON and Swagger is kind of a little technical, but it is very simple. Writing contract in JSON is not complex at all. We'll spend some time. You will be comfortable. Every interview you go, there will be lots of questions about contract, and we need to be comfortable. So we are going to focus on REST aspect. So tonight, all about REST. Mostly people use REST. SOAP I'll cover later, but SOAP normally people are not using. So I'll put it lower priority, because if you are going for interview, most of the time they will ask you about REST. But we'll talk about SOAP as well. But right now we'll keep it lighter, because SOAP is coming out from the market. So if I spend too much time on SOAP, it's not really going to add value, because everything is a REST. When you're using mobile device, if you're using browser-based application, it's all about REST, and creating a REST is quite easy. And then coming classes, I'll show you how to do other aspect also. So this will take me almost, I would say, almost a break time. And after break, we have to do some lab, practical lab. So for that lab, we're going to do AWS account. So we'll create AWS Cloud free account. So it does ask about your email. VM means virtual machine in cloud. So we'll use virtual machine in cloud. Then we'll install Windows in this virtual machine. So those people who are Mac or they have different type of machine do not have a problem, because in a cloud, every one machine will be identical. If you have a problem, I will have the same problem. Makes sense? Because my machine has different JDK, your machine may have different JDK. We want to make sure we create a consistent environment. So for part of this exercise, we are going to use a VM in cloud, and that will give an identical approach. And after installing VM, we are going to install Python. So we're going to install Python in this VM. VM means virtual machine. After installing Python, we're going to install web service framework. So it's a Python web service framework. There is a framework which we are going to use, Flask. So there is a special framework. In your interview, people may ask you about what framework you use. Now, Java, there is a framework called Jersey people use, or REST, there is another framework people use, REST easy they use, Jersey they use, Spring Boot they use. So I don't want to spend too much time in Java because, but concept we have taste, we do taste web services. Make sense or not? So we create a web service quickly and we taste it. Make sense or not? So Python has a very popular framework called Flask, and tonight you will learn in and out about it. Sounds good? Some of things maybe we can do next week, but overall you will be comfortable. Even you have not studied Python, even you have not done it, don't worry about it. We're going to do it. After that, we are going to do browser. Now, web service testing can be used as a manual and can be used as automation. So for time being, we're going to do manual. So tonight we are going to do almost everything manual. Next week, we're going to start using a tool, Postman. But next week, all those things we have done here, we're going to freeze that, freeze in.
Hey Tushar, I'm sorry, but your connection is not stable.
It will become stable for a few minutes. Because I'm not sure, but this time it will stabilize. It's not. No, that is the reason they are getting experience then. But it will stabilize. You said there is another spot. No, that is the other. So this will freeze it. Freeze it in the sense of next week, we will start from there. We don't have to install, we don't have to configure, we just freeze it. Make sense or no? So this is very important. Now, before you go home, just let me know. If you don't freeze it, then AWS will charge us. Make sense? Because AWS charge based on usage. So if you are not freezing, AWS is thinking you're using it, so they're going to charge. Again, they are not going to charge you hundreds of dollars. They may charge you maybe a couple of dollars a day, but it will add up. So we want to make sure we freeze it. And that's pretty much will do. And then you will have homework. So far, I gave you homework as individual, and I'm going to give you individual for now because I noticed that individual people are doing effort and they're learning more. But later on, I'll give you a project, but it will be a group project. Sounds good? So then you will have a homework. All those things which I'm going to teach you, it's coming from forum. So there is no special PowerPoint as such. I'm improvising the forum itself. So that way you have all have access to forum in one single place. Sounds good? Ready? Okay. So this is our forum. Last week we discussed about, in case if you have not seen the forum is here. It is in our category. So if I go to category section, under category sections, I have assurance, which is quality assurance. If I click on it, in quality assurance, my post is web service overview. And in this web service overview, I have created day 1 and day 2. So those who missed like last week, day 1 is there. And day 2, we are right now studying. Each week, I'm going to add the content. So last week, we talked about what is web service, how it works, request and response. We talk about that. Right? We also talk about what is web applications, how web service is useful, and all. We talk about it. And then you guys did quite a good homework. We talk about how IoT works, right? Especially parking machine, right? Because in your interview, people may ask you edge device or IoT device. So IoT device can be like, example, electric meter or parking meter, how it works, or your camera, how it works, right? Those are the things they're going to ask you. Then we talk about various other aspects. What is API and what is web service and all. We talk about that developing web service have different approach. Cloud first, contract first, and hybrid. Now today we are going to do a contract. So you will understand how the contracts are written. It's not like complex, it's pretty easy when you start understanding. We started talking REST, it will take most of our time, and then we'll talk about SOAP later. Now today we are starting web service. Now, web service 2, the most important part is contract. So first questions in our mind, what is contract? If somebody say contract, what thing comes in your mind? Agreement. So contract require two type of parties, right? Contract require two type parties, right? So whenever we say contract, normally there are two party involved. So one party and other party, they mutually agreed upon certain things. Mutually agreed. It is not one way. It's mutually agreed upon. In that case, this guy say what I'm going to give you, right? And this guy agreed that yes, he's going to receive it. And then this guy say, I'm going to give you, and we need to agree what we're going to receive. So both parties should be genuinely participating. So far, so good. So when you start web service, the first thing is the contract definition. Speak with me. Contract definition. Now, if you're a QA, you will be part of the discussion. If you're a BA, you will be part of the discussions. Developer will be part of the discussions. But these two happen between two parties. So example, if one is Amazon, you can be part of Amazon, and one can be maybe FedEx or JP Morgan. You know, two teams. Team A talking to team B, if they, so there won't be a guess. We agreed upon. Now, quite normally with the timestamp in the sense of, let's say you did in January 2001, then you might have version 1. But after a while, you might change the contract. So when you change the contract, you have two options. One, you modify the contract. But when you modify the contract, you will have two problems. One, the old people who are using old contract, right? And then now you have new contract. So if you modify the contract, two parties are you're impacting existing customer. You guys agree or not? Which we call regression impact. Because if you make a change, you have to retest everything. And sometimes you might break it. Yes or no? Like example, somebody got a contract in 2000 and now you're modifying in 2023. Quite possible you may not even know who is using what. And when you make a change, broke it everything. So company don't like to modify existing contract. So what they do is they come up with the version. The old version might be used by old customers, and then they will come up with a new version of contract, which is used by new customers. This way, this is independent. New customers will use only new contract, and old customers will continue using the old contract. Sounds good? Interview people will ask you this kind of, what if you have existing web service? So you serve to thousands of customers, and now you are coming with a new requirement. How would you handle that? The correct answer is create a new version. Why? Because existing will still work, and new customers will start using new one. Then you give a window. You give a window that after 6 months, we will only have one version. So somehow we need to bring these guys to the new version. So you give them 6-month window, so they take time and they can modify. So this is called migration activity. So old contract, you kind of discontinue and then start using the new contract. So it is possible at single point of time, company may have multiple contract. Multiple contract means version 1, version 2. Sounds good? Many times you might have seen in AWS old look and feel, and if you slide the button, it's a new look and feel. So this is called two type of view. It means one works with the old contract, one works with the new contract. And company gives you 6 month, 9-month runway, so you can migrate. So far, so good. If I remove the contract, confusion will start. If I bring the contract, agreement start. Do you guys agree or not? Now the question is, what should I write? Yes.
So the contract is between two parties.
Yes.
So if Amazon, let's say in that example, Amazon and FedEx have one contract, then if the changes are made, then it will be to that contract itself, right?
If only one customer is there, then there is no problem. Because if you're making change, you're assuming they will also make change. Yes, sir. Because this contract, let me explain this way. This contract requires coding here and coding here, right? So if you are having only one customer, let's assume if you're having only one customer, and if you are making change here, then you're assuming both party are make sense or no?
So with like, so Amazon has FedEx and then an example they have Chase. So they will have the same contract with
Very good. So I'm coming to that. But first of all, are we understanding with the contract? So contract can be a simple one page document, or it can be Excel, or it can be JSON. The contract doesn't need to be fancy. The higher you go, complex it becomes, but majority contract will have 6-7 items, which you will know today without any difficulty. But question is, do you have one-to-one? One-to-one means one Amazon, one FedEx. But what FedEx does? Shipping. So if Amazon tomorrow adds USPS, what USPS does? Shipping. So FedEx does shipping, USPS does shipping. If both are doing shipping, do you think contract varies or remains same? Remains same. Parameter may vary, but contract will remain same because shipping means shipping box. FedEx ships or USPS ships. There is not much change. But Amazon has a payment processing with JP Morgan. Is payment processing and shipping are same or different? Different. So do I need a same contract or different contract? Makes sense or not? If I'm buying hotel, not buying, means renting hotel versus I'm renting car, details will be quite different. Do you agree or not? But if I'm renting a hotel, doesn't matter if I call maybe Hyatt, maybe Marriott, maybe XYZ, right? Because they all are going to ask me which room you want, which size you want, what type of services you need, how many guests you have, right? Basic, because the contract is for room booking, yes or no, or hotel booking. So as long as purpose is same, doesn't matter how many customers you have, they all are going to follow the same contract. So if I keep adding new customers, and if the purpose is same, they all have to follow the same contract. Amazon will manage their side. So provider is one, consumers are many. But there is one challenge. But there is a challenge number one. What if Amazon started with maybe FedEx, and after 5 years they want to add more customers. So after 5 years, there's a significant gap. Now Amazon may ask others, do you want to use my existing contract? Possible they will, and possible they may not, because they say no, we need additional information because time change, yes or no. Because when you wrote a contract with FedEx, maybe there was limited information, you started with version 1, but now you added more customers. Now your two choice: one, go and ask FedEx, hey, we're going to change the contract, so it will be uniform among FedEx, UPS, and DHL. Or FedEx says, we are not going to change. So you keep it V1 for FedEx, and you create a second contract for DHL and others, UPS. Make sense or not? So now company is using one service, but they have version 1 and version 2. There will be quite similarity, but there might be some differences. Make sense or not? Are you understanding? If total business change, then you need a new contract. If the customer change happen, if it is happen in 1 or 2 days, you will use same contract because there is not much difference. But if 5 years, like example, we teach this class for 6-7 years here. So first day when I taught this class, I said we were teaching less because we were not knowing about technology change, yes or no. But in last 7 years now, technology change happened. Like karate came, you will learn that. We never taught karate in India before. So now new thing came, but 5 years back I didn't know. There was technology was not there. So you can see that QA content is growing, yes or no. If QA content is growing, then the cost will grow, the time will grow, yes or no. Now we cannot compete. Oh, that time I was charged this, and the recent contract is different now. So that is the reason it's company decision. Here the driver is Amazon. Amazon make decision. Amazon can force FedEx, you have to change the contract. They can. Or they say, man, FedEx is giving me millions of dollars. I don't want to disturb the existing one. Let me start with a new contract. Bring UPS, DHL. But the contract will still change version 1 to version 3, and then version 3, then version 4. It keeps going. Make sense? Any questions?
Sure. We say that when we have like with FedEx,
Mhm.
and now, for example, we get a new client
Mhm.
with the speeds.
Mhm.
Okay. So the things are the same contract,
Mhm.
but they load it like in different changes. So can we take a snapshot on this one and make a modification?
Mhm.
Name it version 1,
Mhm.
specifically for
That
this.
is possible.
Can do that? Okay.
Yeah, if you are making a change, you start what you have and then modify it.
Because
You-
like you mentioned, like most of like all the standards, like in shipping,
Yeah.
our requests, but
Yeah,
might be
you-
there's different
You
ways,
just copy paste.
different things.
Yeah, you just copy paste and add additional thing. Sometimes if you are changing here and there minor, there will be a, when you write a first time contract, you always give some additional thing. Like example, you know that as I go further, some generic thing you keep in a contract which will give you a little bit additional modification. I'll show you how. But if you think like you need to write, start what you have, copy that and create a version 2 and then modify it. There got to be a reason you need a contract number 2, right? Previous contract. So you have to ask yourself, can I not use it? If not, then and then you can do. While I'm creating version 2, yeah, you can start with the previous, copy it and then modify.
We can blame like an advisor on them, for example.
You are.
Okay.
Not only you are you're a paying advisor, but you are going to validate. So you should think about it. Because think about it. If I call you, how would you know I'm calling? Number. So, but how would you know my number?
Why not your name?
So how would you know my name when I'm calling you?
You give it.
Yeah, so you will start bringing those experience because right now we are defining contract. So contract between two parties. Now Amazon is calling FedEx. Amazon is calling FedEx, but FedEx might have many customers like Amazon. Yes or no? So is it FedEx is calling or is it Target is calling? They might have to have a way, right? Yes or no? Then they might need to say, is this is call from web or this is call from mobile? Yes or no? So there are so many things you have to think about because as a QA, you have to think because you are going to validate it. So something when you are discussing a design aspect, you will be actively engaged in that. And that is the reason we are learning web service testing. Trust me, interview will go smoothly, but you need to understand the concept. Remember, one thing is called coding and one thing called understanding. Understanding will take you a long way, right? What else? Any questions here? People on phone, are we clear with contract? Give me thumbs up. We are going to write a contract, so you will understand more, but so far so good. Awesome. Now, I want to change topic a little bit, so you will understand this part. So we'll talk in contract for a few minutes. Now, please pay attention because you will have clarity. So this is the module A. Module, when I say module or company, just treat like Amazon versus FedEx versus what do you call DHL or say. Make sure you understand concept. This is very simple, very easy way I'm explaining. So you won't have a problem. You don't have to read about it. So like example, if I'm a customer and let's say I'm going to Expedia. Everyone understand Expedia, right? And say I want hotel. So this guy say I want hotel. It's hotel booking. So he's going to do hotel booking. So when Expedia send request to, let's say, easy like this, Marriott and Hyatt, they have two choices. Expedia can send request. Expedia can send request to what do you call Marriott and wait till Marriott complete the work, and then they get response. Till time Expedia is waiting. Makes sense or not? Listen carefully. These are very important. Okay. So first Expedia is calling to Marriott, and now Marriott might have to call to their database and get the result and then filter it based on the price and all. Expedia is waiting. Speak with me, waiting. Then this is called synchronized call. Synchronized call means blocking call. Speak with me. Again, blocking. Very important topic. Blocking call means if I call until I get a response, I am not going to do anything. I'm waiting. It's good thing or bad thing? So it depends on context, right? So context is if you know that Marriott is going to give me in less than 2 seconds, then I might be able to wait. But if Marriott is going to take maybe a minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, in that case, it's not a good idea. Why? Because in 15 minutes, Expedia can call Hilton and get hotel details. Yes or no? So sometimes you need to think about, listen carefully, this is a very important topic. Sometimes you think about, if I'm going to send requests, am I going to get a response instantly? If answer is yes, then you should do synchronized call. So example, when you are calling me, I pick up the phone. Now what happened? Is it a synchronized call or asynchronized call? Synchronized. Now I'm stuck with your line. Yes or no? Means we both are busy. Means Expedia is busy and Marriott is busy. Now, while I'm on phone, you can say, Tushar, can you wait for me? I have someone at my door. So what you do, you block me. Do you agree or not? No. Not able to make call. Blocking call. What we do here, we have new tags. Am I blocked? No. I'm not blocked when you text me. But when you call me, I'm a block. Because as soon as I pick up the phone, now we're keeping each other busy. Make sense? So nowadays what companies are doing, please understand. Company creates a middleman, which we call middle layer. So what middleman does, company does is very simple. Company make a call to the destinations and say, just give me that you receive the request. Just give me you receive the request. So now the company will instantly give you some kind of ID. And that ID, this program will check, are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Now this guy is doing processing, but as soon as request come, as soon as requests come, this company immediately give you job ID. What it gives you? Job ID. So that job ID will go here, and now this company takes some interval call. Are you done with this job ID? And then this company, when it is done, this company will give result here. So what happening here? Let's repeat again. So it will be very clear. Pay attention. This is a lot complex topic, but it's very useful. Listen carefully. The previous one was this one. You're calling for this one, right? And until this guy is done, you're blocked. Until response comes, you're blocked. So this is called blocking or synchronized call. The new approach where you call, let me take this guy a little bit down so you can understand what it's doing. The new approach is you're calling as soon as you call, before this guy does anything, he is going to give you a job ID. So he's going to give you job ID. So this guy got a job ID. Makes sense or not? So this guy will immediately give you job ID. Means as soon as I receive your request, so it will give you job ID. So job ID is now received by this guy. This is the request. Now this Both are independent. Both are independent. Now this guy is gonna start doing work. And it may take 10 minutes, 15 minutes like that. He's doing work. During this guy is also doing work because he's independent. But because he has job ID, he will decide certain interval to check, are you done? And if this guy is done, he will put response here. So both are independent. But are you done? That type of check will come. Are you done? So what happened? Those were all are Selenium is there, right? Remember, there is a called fluent wait. Are you done yet? Remember 3 wait we have? First is the implicit wait. And then we have explicit wait. And this is a fluent wait. So what happened? I send you request, give me job ID so I can start doing other work. And whenever I have free time, are you done yet? I get. This is called async call. Speak with me. Again.
Asynchronous.
Asynchronous call is very powerful. So whenever you are doing work in industry, there's a rule you have to follow. If you are not going to get response on a predetermined time, speak with me, predetermined time, then you should use async. So example, when Expedia send a hotel requirement to maybe 50 to 60 websites, they all are going to take different time. So what type of call Expedia is going to do? Sync call or async call?
Asynchronous.
Async. You guys agree? But let's say you are doing a bank transaction. You're paying somebody. You're paying somebody. So when you're paying somebody, like we call wire transfer, right? When you do wire transfer, what kind of things should be possible? Synchronous. Why synchronous?
Should be one.
Yeah, because when you are doing wire transfer, it's a big thing. And it's only one time. So if things are not done well, you want to undo it, right? And it allows you complete control. And then given that async, this whole process will be done in less than 1 or 2 seconds. But if wire transfer takes 30 minutes, would you use async? You won't. Why? Because in that case, bank cannot serve millions of customers because one customer make wire transfer, 30 minutes waiting, next 30 minutes waiting. So if you see in a day, you will hardly able to do 60, 70 wire transfer, which is not possible. Make sense or not? So when should I use blocking call and when I should use async call? It depends on the response time. Depends on the response time. If response time is less than 1 or 2 seconds, you will do blocking call. Otherwise.
So is that predetermined if the call is going to be used for
When you keep calling, and I'm not. So there are two parties. When you call me, you want right away response. Then you want sync call, right? Right away response. But other side, you say, hey, you are not the only customer. I have other customers. I cannot do right. In that case, you have no choice. You have to do async call.
But in this example, where Expedia versus
Hilton.
So do they have it determined already that Expedia is going to have a call?
No, they're during contract definition. During contract definition, you have to discuss about, hey, when I send you hotel request, within what time frame you will give me the response? The guy says, it depends. It may take a 1 second, it may take a 10 minutes. As soon as they say more than a few seconds, you will do async. Async is not bad. Let me repeat it. You are still going to get response, but async will give you opportunity to do other aspect also. Because you are Expedia, you might be getting millions of requests, right? And you don't want to be blocked. So that is the reason you are going to use async. Then you can say, guys, if you cannot do response in a 1 second, 2 seconds, let's do async. And then you define the mechanism. When I send you, give me some ID. And then whenever I need, I will call you. Maybe after 5 seconds, maybe after each 5 seconds, I'll call you. And this way, both can be independent.
So the same example, like when you search Expedia's website, it will give you, like, let's 5, 6 hotels already. And then this call comes in afterwards, so they can refresh the page to.
Could you repeat again? Sorry, I missed that.
So like when you do hotel search, let's say they show up results right away with 5, 6 different hotels. And then after like few seconds, then let's say Marriott comes with their response. So then what happens at that time? Does the page refresh? Or?
Yeah, so very good question. So first of all, are we clear with this thing? Now that what you're asking is architecture aspect. How do I provide user benefit? So I will go through for a few minutes just to give idea, because it will help you a lot. Make sure you pay attention, because as I said before, this is architecture concept, kind of very easy once you understand it, right? So please understand. This is our Expedia. Let's assume this is our customer. So when customers make a call to Expedia, right, then I want hotel data. So I want hotel data. And Expedia is going to make a call to bunch of hotels. Yes or no? Now, when they make a call, listen carefully. When they make a call, each one will be web service call. Now, there is not guarantee that Expedia is going to get response. So what Expedia does, they have a partnership. They call partner. This is called partner. They have partners when say 2 second delay, 2 second delay, 2 second delay. It means they will do parallel call. What they're going to do? Parallel call. And then they have a program. They have a program here. And it waits for who is giving response. As soon as give response, they're going to use caching. So they're going to put, hey, this guy response came. So they're going to put their first response. Then this guy response came. But this guy took more than 2 seconds. For that specific customer, listen carefully. For that specific customer, this response is not going to be visible for that specific customer. So first of all, now they cache it. Why they cache it? Because customers say, I want to go to New York. Listen carefully. I want to go to New York and I want to go to March 12 to March 14. Make sense? And I need a room. Make sense or not? So Expedia is going to say the same thing. I need a room for New York, March 12 to 14, and I need room 1. So whatever data came, Expedia is going to cache it. So now next customers make a call. It will go to hotel, and let's assume he's also want to go to New York. So Expedia say, wait a minute, do I have cache? If I have, I'll bring it here instantly. Oh, I don't have this hotel. So that time Expedia is going to call to this hotel, and that might come. If that comes, then they will add in a cache, and from this they will show the user how many hotels you have. I give you guarantee not all users will see the same hotel all the time, because it depends on who gives the response. Yes or no? Expedia is maintaining cache. So as users are calling, cache is built up, and when cache is there, cache will be instantly giving you result. Yes or no? Cache will give you instant result, just like Google. And Expedia avoids making call to the other partners. But after a couple of hours, Expedia will say maybe they might have new rooms. So then Expedia will say, what will they will do? After 1 hour, they will say, now let me refresh this cache. They will get the data and then they refresh the cache. And this happens regular basis. So customers like you and me get a latest data, but we don't get up to speed data, because Expedia is going to cache because of the performance result and giving you better result. Because if Expedia is waiting, customer is going to see white page. Do you guys agree or not? Because Expedia itself doesn't have data, how am I going to show the data? So this happens early morning if you are the first one. So let me show you the example here itself. So let's say I'm going here. Let's say I go to Expedia. So Expedia.com, right? So I'm going Expedia. And now let's say going to, let's do flight. Oh, sorry, hotel. Where is the hotel? States, right? So let's say I'm going to New York. You can see it takes time because it's making a real time call. So that was real. Did you see the blocking? See the blocking. See when I'm typing here, right? Right now it came because it's cached, right? But let's say I'm going to see right now I'm typing something which is not exist. See here. there's something exit. But let's say I'm going to India. So Indianapolis. So I go to Indianapolis. Okay. I pick the day and time, right? And I'll say done. Now, as soon as I do search, Expedia is going to send this information. Assume there is no cache. Expedia is going to send this information to many, many partners, maybe around 20 plus partners, parallel. And they all have a 2 seconds window. Get me result, get me result. Depends on their contract. So if they call 20 people parallel, out of that 10 people respond because they have a better mechanism, they give response. So then Expedia is only going to cache 10 and show that user 10 hurdles. But let Raj call. At that time, 10 is already cached. So Expedia is going to call rest of the 10. Let's say out of that 8 partners responded. So then 10 plus 8, 18 they will put in a cache and then they will show. That's why the deals are changing regularly. Make sense? Otherwise, think about that. If deal is not changing, then morning what I see, you will see the same thing in the evening. But I give you guarantee, every 10 minutes deal will be changing. The reason, the data behind these things are changing as well. So now if I'm clicking here, check it out. Ideally, if it is a real-time call, I should see white screen. If I don't get a white screen and instantly get a result, it means they have cached it. Right? Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what happened 9? So they might have got something from cache and they might have something from real life. These our partners, the hotel. Yeah, here you go. They got hotel names, right? Do they have hotel name here? They don't have special hotel name, right? But you can see these are different hierarchies there, town places there. So they got data from many places. Now, 9 seconds is also, my understanding, is much better because they make a call to 20 plus. And they make a call, they got a JSON. They have to process the JSON. Not only they have to process the JSON, they have to show this JSON on the screen. Yes or no? Makes sense or no? So all those things doesn't happen in less than 10 seconds. So what they do is they cache it. So while reading the data, they only make some call, but most of the call they get from caching. That's why those who have studied AWS Cloud, you remember EHKS, we talk about EHKS like Memcache, Redis cache, those who studied cloud, so they cache it. Cache is nothing but in memory. In memory, you get a better response. We were explaining about the caching and all, or?
We were at the caching part.
Okay. So what I was saying is like when we were showing like Expedia, right? In Expedia try to cache all the data as much as data possible because Expedia doesn't want to make a call to partner because sometimes you get response, sometimes you don't get. So Expedia try to save the data into cache. So that's what we are talking about. And then after that, I was about to talk about the contract. So let's talk about the contract for a second. First thing first, anytime when you write a contract, so I'm going to explain about contract, very simple and easy. So contract start with, first of all, 2 parts. Who is provider? The second is who is consumer. Please pay attention. So provider and consumer. Second is what type of contract we are doing. So contract has a name. So contract name. So like example, for time being, let's say if I say provider is, I'm just giving an example, let's say Amazon, right? And consumer is, let's say, I will do reverse. Provider is JP Morgan or Chase, right? And consumer is Amazon. Make sense? Now contract type, so payment process. Relax and pay attention. Okay, it's so easy. So far, so good. Now, anytime you have this thing, what thing comes in your mind? What things you would think you need to send or you have to receive? What thing comes in your mind? You know this much. You're starting your first day. You need to write a contract between Chase and Amazon. So you're doing payment processing. So it's a high level. You need to know parties involved, right? Now, we have to define the contract further and further. It will take time. It's not going to be happen in 1 hour. It's going to take time. So big ticket item. So when you are sending payment information, payment is information will be received by Chase. So Chase first of all want to know who is sending. Yes, sir. So that's called partner information. So for partner informations, who is the partner here? Amazon. So they will have maybe application name. They may have channel. Channel means, are you sending online? Are you sending through phone, mobile channel, web channel, desktop channel? Because you can call if you go to a store and if you're using Amazon store, right? Not other store. And in Amazon store, if you're using POS system, then channel is POS. In Amazon, if somebody using tablet and then its channel is tablet. If somebody is using Amazon to phone, then channel is phone. And if somebody is going to website, then channel is a web. So there are different channels. Makes sense, sir? Understanding? Because it will help us in a grouping how this provider is called. Because tomorrow, if you want to charge or you want to improve, you can understand. Makes sense? Then application name, they want to know Amazon uniquely. So they will give application ID. Now, they don't want just like that. So they will control Amazon with application key also, which is kind of login type of thing. Because otherwise anybody can call, then JP Morgan will be unnecessary, will be busy. So this is a high level, you put it like that. So first of all, now you can always add more as you go further. But application name, channel name, app ID, you can also say which version we have given them permission. Because this way you can control, they only call version 1. Makes sense or not? Tomorrow, let's say they have version 2 and Amazon want to change version 2, then they change version 2. It is also possible Amazon might have a different application. One might be using version 1, might be using version 2. So here we say version. Makes sense, sir? Are you understanding now? Amazon has different thing. Mobile might be using new application and desktop might be using old application. Good? Easy? What else we should be passing for payment processing? Come on.
Customer
Something you know, this is the reason
User requirement.
if we are doing payment processing every day, if you bought anything in Amazon or any online thing, you know what I'm talking about. So in that case, you will pass
How will it be used?
customer
Where?
info.
Yeah.
So first name, last name, email, phone number, address, some information you're going to pass. Yes or no? So this is customer information. If I pass this, is enough for payment processing? Credit card. So now you are taking credit card. So in that case, what are the things we pass? Name on credit card, credit card number, then what is that called?
Expiration date, CSV.
Expired date, right? Type of credit card, and then amount, right? Because which amount you want to process. Yes, sir. What else we will be passing? Purchase, which is called order information. In that order, you might have an order date, order number, right? Because that will track which order you process, right? So order number, that order type also. Is it a business, personal, regular, subscriptions, like that? Then order date, then order amount. Maybe we can remove amount from here because you don't need to have amount here because it belongs to order, right? Makes sense, sir? So order type, order date, order amount. Maybe if they have some way to track from where which place order is placed, because you are placing order, right? So again, which location is paid, but right now, good enough. So you can see how you are doing this kind of thing. The shipping information, I don't think you will be providing to what do you call Chase, because that will come once you do payment processing, right? Shipping detail may not be needed. You see now, in front of you, you have more entities. Do you agree or not? Those who know database sounds familiar. So you have how many entities? Your partner info, right? Partner info means the consumer in our case. So partner info, that's one. The consumer info, then credit card info, then customer info, and other info. Now, how long it takes to come up with this type of discussion? Maybe half hour to yes or no? Say
Yes.
yes, right? Then this is a starting point. Then you can define that app name, is it required or not? Is it required or not? And then give an example. Is it numeric or is it non-numeric? Is it a character or like that? So here I can say character. In that case, I can say Amazon app. So that's the example. Then they'll say, okay, I covered that. What about the second one? Channel. What is channel? So then you can say channel is also required. And what kind of channel is it? Is it like your character? And then give me example. So example, maybe example mobile channel, example web channel, example POS. So web, just put a web, POS, right? Or if we are using anything else, we can write that. So you can see here, these are the only thing you can use. Mobile you can pass, web you can pass, POS you can pass. Can I pass ABC? No. And if you send it, who's going to validate? Who's going to validate? Chase. And Chase is going to send you error, which is called exception. Speak with me again. Why? Because this was the contract. You can only send these three. But tomorrow, if you want to add channel, then you have to discuss with the Chase. Do you agree on that? Make sense? Now we talk about app ID. So app ID, that's your. I'm taking this item, and then I'm saying, is it required? Yeah, this is required. It is also possible it might be optional. Then the app ID will be numeric. They might give you a number, so you can say example. Example maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like your account number, they will give you app ID. The same thing for application. Makes sense, sir? In this situation, everything is required. But in these cases, maybe if I go the same thing for first name, right? So first name, again, it's required, and then it's a character, and then first name you can say like example Tom, right? And you can go for that. And same thing for credit card. Makes sense, sir? So initially you will work on this aspect. This is normally what I wrote in business analyst write this thing. What it does, business analyst writes. Now, if you're a QA, ask yourself question: if it's all required, you've got a test cases. Yes or no? If you don't send it, boom, you should expect error. Now your question will be: if it's all required, if I don't send it, what error message I should get from where? Chase. So you need to have, so that is your test case, right? Because it's required. If you don't pass partner information at all, will it work? If you pass that, but if you don't pass one of them, so you're going to test that, and that is your test task. But if you have no idea about contract, how would you know that this is required and this is not required? Make sense? Have you understand? So goal of the exercise, please understand. Goal of the exercise is understand what you need to set. Now, people like you and me who know JSON, which are little technical. So this type of contract, who writes business analysis? Then there will be developer involved. They will read it and say, wait a minute, this is easy. I can do this thing. I'm a developer. So if I'm a developer, Java guy, then this is the Java guy will think this is the object, Java object, yes or no? Say yes or no.
Yes.
So they write it Java class that time with attribute, and then setter and getter, right? They write Java. But then the guy who is doing web service, hey, you are writing Java, but I need a JSON. So then they will write this item. Coding they will do in Java, but then they will write in a JSON, this item, like this. So check this out. Application name. Sounds good or no? Column, and you can give a name Amazon. Yeah. Make sense of comma, then channel. Do you think it's difficult now? Because this key, can I change this key? Can I change this key? No, because this is agreed. Can I change value? Answer is yes, as long as it is not predefined. Predefined is called enumeration. Enumeration means fixed list. Fixed list. Because this is the only channel our JP Morgan can process. But you're allowed to change this name, right? So here, channel. Now, channel in this case, I can pass this. For me, I'm passing with comma. Then I'll pass key value. Let's example app ID, right? And then I'm passing, let's say 1, 1, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 5. And I keep writing, this is one JSON for partner info. And then same thing I can do for customer. Do you guys agree or not? Make sense or not? So what should I write for customer? First name. That's a called key. Yes or no? First name is a key. And then you write first name Tom. Yes or no? And then last name. And then you write last name. Here Smith, whatever you want. And then you continue. So if you know JSON, writing this is called a one object, second object, third object. And when all objects are ready, if I put all objects like this way, this is the master object. And then I add object, one object for partner info, one object for customer, one object for credit card, right? So I can write credit card object, one is, second was customer object, and one was the partner object, and what was the last one? Order object, right? So if I do this thing, means this object which I prepared here, if I bring this object in this mix and I've combined this all object which I create here, and if I give this thing, then this is your payload. What do you call? Payload. So when you send this information, when Amazon sends this information to Chase, that is called request payload. And then Chase will check it. Is this object has all my key? If not, they will send you error, which we call fault. Speak with me. Fault, or in easy language, error. So why did they going to send fault? For example, you did not send partner, or you did not send order, or you did not send credit card, or you did not send customer, or you did not send the required key in that. It would be a lot easier for them to send you back. Do you agree or not? So if they send, it means error. So as a QA, you become JP Morgan, and you will check all those requests yourself. Yes or no? So what you are going to do, you're going to create this dummy JSON, and you will send it to see that it's working or not. If customers are sending, you're going to verify that. So your goal is to continuously check this data is passed on, and you educate developer. Hey, you're missing this. Hey, you have uppercase, lowercase problem. Oh, you're entering different data, and you are going to create your JSON, which is called test JSON, to verify that request object. Make sense?
Are we using Postman or SOAP UI for this? Or, I mean, are we using this application to test this?
Sorry, could you repeat again?
So all these keys and values you put, we're using Postman and SOAP UI or Karate if it's automation, right? And then this is how we're going to test it, right?
Yes, I'll show you tonight. I'll show you. But are you guys with me so far or not? We are going to test Gabriel. So we are going to create this type of thing. In web service, this is your bread and butter. You have to create a key, you have to create a value, comma separated. But how you know which key you need? Through contract. How would you know this value? Through contract. The contract normally written by business analysts. But you are going to read it and you're going to prepare this contract through JSON. You all know JSON. We have been talking about JSON. JSON is very powerful. I added one video in the forum just in case if you have a problem, please read about. But without JSON, you will not be able to do anything in web services because you are not talking in English. You only talk. Amazon talk to JPG on them, to JSON on them, JavaScript, object, notation. And then in Amazon talk to FedEx, UPX, every service call, it's only going to through JSON. And if something is error out, they are going to send you in a JSON on. Make sense of? So when they error out, let's say example, some error. So they will send you error response. They will send you error response like this. And then they will say status, right? Error. Code. Every error, they will give you code. So that way you know what is the code. So example, if you don't send partner object, they will agree with you. They will agree with you in a contract that if, like example, if partner is missing, partner object is missing, then they will send you 500. Just an example, sorry, 400. 401. Copy that. If like this, if partner element is missing, it means inside one element is missing, then they will send 402. Or maybe they will say 401.1, just an example. Now, if they say if customer object is missing, please understand, then they will say we'll send you 402. If customer element is missing, means the first name, last name is missing. In that case, they're going to say 402. This number are coming from Chase. Does it matter? Technically, no. As long as they tell me, as soon as they tell me what will happen, I know 402 customer element is object missing. So I'm going to go back to here. What is these guys are asking? Customer element. Oh, first name, last name, element. Oh, I missed the phone number. So as soon as I add phone number, thing will work. Make sense or not? So company will put this thing not in this way, but in English, phone number is required. Your company will say that. Email is required. Now you say, but how they say that? I'm sorry, required. So if I go to Expedia again, I hope internet will not go down. Last time it went down. So if I go to Expedia here, and if I click on search, see here, does it work? Why they're saying this is required? Because it defined in contract. Now let's say if I click here, and let's say I pick Indianapolis, and if I say search, at that time everything is working because contract is fine. Now let me come back and let's go for other contract. Let's say flight, right? So in flight, I'm clicking here. Living from, these are required, right? Now let's say I choose old date. Old date is the sense right now. What is right now? March 2. Can I go back? No. Why not? Right? Now, how far in advance I can book? See, only 24. Can I go 26? So check it out. If I write here, this thing, right? So January 24th thing I write and I pick here. So Wednesday, December, see here. So what does it mean? This is thinking 2023. So means contract is you cannot send anything in past date. Do you guys agree or not? And if somebody sent, that's an error. Can they send in 2026, 2029? No. So you have to think about that. For example, if I go to living from, let's example, I pick here ABC. Now, this is an enumeration. Enumeration means I cannot just write, I have to select it. Do you agree or not? If I say ABCD, I click here, it doesn't select it. Why? Because it's enumeration. What is enumeration? Predefined list, just like this. We talk about, right? This one. You have to pick from this. So when I come here, what is enumeration here? There is enumeration, so I can select, let's say, if I type like this, it's not going to work. How they know that? Because they have enumeration, they have to select that. Okay, if I select O'Hare, I select that. But if I don't submit that, it's gonna crash. So all this red thing came because in a contract, we return that if it is missing, I'm gonna say that. And you already say here, listen carefully, this is required, this is required, this is required. So developer also code accordingly. Makes sense on that. So everyone has to understand contract in order to develop the web application and web services. Now, in error code, you can say error code is let's say 40, just an example, 402.2. What does it mean now? Right? And then you can also write message. And when you write message, you're going to use the message, whatever message you got here. So here you can say customer element is missing. Now this will give you much more clue. Do you agree on that? And this is the way you kind of send them data. So every time you send request, there will be a response, success or fail. So this is the error message, but let's say if it is success, what would be the message for that success? So see here. So first of all, status will be what? Success. If it is success, always answer is 200. 200 means success. In that case, you will say transaction completed successful. Make sense? So this is also coming response. So if you are a QA student, if you get 200, would you be worried? But if you get anything above other than 200, makes sense? So our goal is to do this kind of work. And in order for doing that, we need to understand how to write contract. Any questions with respect to contract definition? You can use Word, you can use Excel, you can use anything you use. But this is the way you write contract. Process is clear. That is the reason, if you remember, those who are doing database class, you're doing database objects. Whenever you do Java, we talk about Java objects. Here, these are called business objects. Partner info, customer info, credit card info, and all. It's just similar as Java. There's nothing special, and that's why required and not required, you know that in Oracle we call constraint, right? Similar concept. Make sense? So writing contract is not a big deal. You just take time, and when you write, you share with your team member. You share with your partners, have them review it, and then provide you feedback. It may go over 1 or 2 days or 3 days, maybe a week or two, and after that, it will be fun. Good. Any other questions? Good. Now, anytime you call web service, there are 4 ways you can call web service. So we talk about a couple of classes that whenever you do web service, there are REST web service. Normally, people do 4 ways. So you have to think about what you are doing. So you're doing payment processing. Let's example payment processing. So payment processing is the web service you have, payment processing. And Amazon is here and Chase is here. So first of all, now Amazon say, I want to do payment processing. So they will use post method. So post method normally you use in order to create, or process. So you're going to do post. So every time you are buying item in Amazon, Amazon is making call post to Chase. And it is a synchronized call because it's happened in less than 2-3 seconds. So first of all, but let's say Amazon want to know, is this process successful or not? If Amazon want to know more about that process, then Amazon is going to call get. So get means get me payment information for this ID. So the get means you just read about it. Post means you are creating or processing. And get means you are reading. So example, when you are getting flights, sorry, not flight, hotels. So when Expedia get hotels, which one they will be, post or get? Get.
Post.
They will get because Expedia is calling Hilton, Marriott, and Hyatt. Hey, get me all rooms. Yes or no? So Expedia is going to call get. So when they get, at that time, they are going to get hotel objects in JSON. Do you agree or not? Say yes or no. Now, hotel object, what are the information they're going to get from them?
Hotel name, hotel ID,
Keep going, go fast. Hotel name,
address,
ID,
location,
email, price.
Phone
Go ahead,
number.
keep going. Yes, go ahead. Room number, location, price. Keep going. So now you are understanding what I'm talking about. So now see here in Expedia, and yourself we discuss how this comes here. So now check. I'm saying I'm going to New York, and I know in Indianapolis. So if I search here, you agree that Expedia doesn't have any hotel. Do you agree or not? So when I click here, whatever they're going to get from partners. Partners means Hilton, Marriott, yes or no? And now they're going to get consistently. What does consistently means? If one hotel gives, other hotel will give the same. Why they give consistently? Because the contract is same, doesn't matter which partner you are. So the contract is same, then I can display identical. Yes or no? Now see the message, and you will understand and appreciate. See now, check this. I'm just comparing these two hotels. Do you agree they are two different hotels? Say yes or no. Ramesh, are you okay? So first of all, name, matching name, city. This guy has a pool, and this guy give you free thing. Right? They have some detailed description. They have some discount. This guy doesn't have, but that's discount. So it means discount is required or optional. Makes sense or no? But first name is hotel name is required, amenity is required, right? And then detail is required. Now, what is this one? Rating is optional, or if it is required, then everyone will have. If it is optional, then one of two will have, right? Now, see here, this detail, special thing means this is optional because they don't have it. Make sense or no? Now, see here, this detail, all those things, price and all, you're getting. Who is getting? Expedia is getting when they make a GET call. But this is not the only thing Expedia gets. This is not the only. This image, do you see this image? This image, how did they get? Because you make a call, they're also giving you image, but we are not done yet. If you click on this, you're going to get more information. All those informations, if I click on it, all those informations, all those things you see here right now, everything which you see here, it came during GET call. Not only that, rooms. You can see this, all the details you see here, rooms, the pictures, the color, the details, everything came from that GET call. So this JSON will be not 1, 2, 4, 5, this may be 15 page long. How many pages? Now ask yourself a question. If you are QA, it's going to take a long time to verify each and every. Do you agree or not? If I do manual validation like this, then I have to compare with the contract. Did you get me bedroom, this, oh, missing. Oh, that's called manual testing. And if you do this thing, compare contract to contract, that's why we give you data, what we call data-driven testing, where you put this thing and loop it and see everything is there, check, like that. So you can write a program. In that case, you become an automation tester. But these type of things normally take 6 to 7 months of validation. It's not 1 or 2. Even you are just doing one contract GET, because it's so complex. Make sense or not? They didn't make tons of calls. You can see this is just a starting point. Then locations. You see how much things they are getting. Then you got amenities, policies, all those things you got in a GET call. So your GET call will be quite complex. Make sense? So some call may be tiny, some are real complex. Any questions so far? Make sense? Are we visualizing or not? So why we need JSON? So just like we are sending, they can also send JSON. They don't have to like just give me error or success. When you do GET call, so GET call is more about getting the data. So if you are doing GET, means you're reading data. So example, GET movie, right? GET movie, always entity, GET movie, GET hotel, right? GET products. Make sense or not? So if you're reading something, then you're gonna do GET. Clear? But let's say you want to add something. So if you want to add something, then post. So post means, like example, if you want to do post means add. So adding something. The example, you're saying student. So you're adding student. Movie, you're adding movie. Product means you're adding product. So post is for adding. Post is for adding. And let's say you are changing something, then you do put. So in that case, you are changing. So you will say, I'm changing this student, replace the existing student, because changing means something is already there. So you are giving new student information, right? And you are saying, hey, replace this student mode. Or you are saying, hey, replace this mode, because they might have changed name, title, year. Maybe replace this. Makes sense. And if you are going to do delete, then you are going to remove something. Then you are going to give student ID. Why student ID? Because unique student will be deleted. You're going to give movie ID because unique movie will be deleted, and you're going to give product ID. Then unique product will be deleted. So in interview, people will ask, what are the 4 ways or 4 types of web service we have? How many types? 4. Mostly you are using get. Get is for list. Post is for create. These are 2 are most popular. But if you're changing it, you're going to use put. And then delete means you. So far, so good?
So the experience call will be get call.
Yes.
Then let's say built-in replies.
Mhm.
Are they replying, or is that a what kind
They
of
don't
call is
see.
that?
See, when we make a get call, so example, Raj, get me your address. What are you going to reply to them? And you will send in a JSON. So if Expedia say get me hotel list, so Marriott is going to give me all hotels, or sorry, rooms. Get me rooms. So Marriott will give you all rooms, room 1, room 2, price, and all in a JSON object. So if you have multiple rooms, what are you going to do? You will put a list like that. Yes or no? And in curly bracket, you're going to say room 1 detail, room 2 details. Makes sense or no? And this JSON will be very complex. And this will be your response. This will be your response. Any other questions? Making sense or no? Now, when you are sending request or response, it is called envelope. It's called envelope. So the way it works here, it has a compartment. One is the body compartment. Body compartment where you actually use JSON only for post and put. Post and put, you use body compartment because you are sending whole JSON, because you can say add it, or you are saying update. So when you do post, you send body compartment. On top of body compartment, you have header. Speak with me. This header, you are going to send hidden information for logging or for identification. So our Amazon will have app key, secret key, channel. No one should know about it. So we're going to put in a header. Why header? Because using that, this request will be validated that it is sent by the authorized partner or not. The body is all about request aspect. Make sense or not? So this header will authenticate. This header will authenticate that, hey, I'm good. This is my information. And then post will say, okay, add this product, add this movie, or put update this movie, like that. Make sense? So post and put always use body, and they may have header. Header may be authorization informations, like that. So far, so good. So now ask yourself a question. If you are doing contract, you identify payload, body payload, which is this one. Then you also will say, what are the information you want me to send you in header? Make sense or not? Because you are sending envelope. Envelope has 2 things. Body means data. But a header I need to pass, yes or no? What header I'm going to pass? So then they will say, you will pass your application name, you will pass your application key, you will pass secret key, you will also maybe use version information. Who is going to tell this? chase in our case because they are the one who is validating. So far, so good. So they may ask in interview, what is header, how it works? So header normally used for validation or identification. Speak with me. Validation or will you pass username and password? No, you only pass header. And in header, you use pass application key and secret key, which is the authentication detail. Make sense? Sometimes people pass certificate, which is big key. Certificate is nothing but is a key, but big key. And that you sometimes people pass also. They call bearer token. Token in the sense of big large key. Bearer token you can pass. So far. Now you say, but post and put I understood. You pass body and you pass header. What about get and what about delete? So they follow a little bit differently. So get, they don't use body, but they use parameter. They use parameter, and then they use header. So parameter normally you pass with the URL. So example, you will pass the URL and you will write here parameter name. So example, books, just an example, I say book. So if I say book, and if I pass 1 here, it means this 1 means I'm looking for first book. If I pass 2, then I'm looking for second book. Make sense? Because get this book, right? Get means you are giving a parameter. I need that book. Or if you say instead of get, you say delete, then you are saying, hey, delete this book. In that case, you don't have to pass body. You just pass one item because you're passing primary key. Yes or no? So if you're passing primary key, then other side will understand, oh, you want me to delete this product. But they are not going to delete it. They're going to check your header first. Are you valid user? If you're a valid user, then they will use and then they will perform and send you response, success or failure. Make sense? So for get, you get an entire hotel. But for delete, what you're going to get? This message, success or failure. When you delete something, you just want successful or error, yes or no. So get you list, delete give you success or failure message. Questions?
Can you give an example of the post and put?
Yes. So I have a forum. I added some references here. So let me show you. I have 2 references in our forum. So I have 2 different type of things. Let me show you here first. This one. So here you have to read about, okay, contract example. Okay. So now if you see here, will not be confused now. This is just an object, user object. So if entity is user, please understand that user can be student, user can be employee. Yes, sir. So then I will have 4 web services: get user, post user, put user, and delete. Do you guys agree or not? Every entity you will have 4 options. Each option has a meaning, right? Get means list, post means create, put means update, and delete means make sense of it. Clear? So now if I go here, get. So then get user, what does it mean? One user or all? All users. Now you see here what they're saying. In URL parameter, you don't have to pass anything because you're looking for all. So success message will be 200. And when you get the response, you're going to get response like this. You get a curly bracket. And because you're bringing more, it's a list, right? Yes or no? And inside list, you're going to have user objects. Make sense of it? Now, if you can do user, and if I ask you to do movie, how hard it is? Instead of user object, just make a movie object. Make sense? And your contract is done. Make sense? Now, get is here you're looking user. So if I say get hotels, I will still get this thing. But instead of user, what am I going to get? Hotels. Make sense of it? Questions so far? I'm going to show you that with real example. But I don't want to just do coding, because if I do coding, you will lose the big aspects of understanding. Because what you are learning, I can give you guarantee, maybe 1%, 2% people in the world will know about it, because they just do it without understanding. Make sense? Now, moving to the next one. Get user ID. The user ID means here you have 1, 2, whatever you want to pass. So here you are passing particular user, yes or no. So this is the parameter. So you can see here URL parameter is your required ID. So you are passing ID. So you can say after objects, you are passing anything you pass that is considered as a parameter. Can I pass more than 1? Yes. But anything you pass in this link, that is called parameter. So if I pass 1, what do you mean by? I'm looking for that first user. If I say 3, what am I saying? Get me the third user. So same thing, get me the 4th hotel. Get me the 5th hotel. Yes or no? Make sense or no? How do I know? Because it is ID. It is required based on the ID, which is the primary key I can pull. Make sense? Now, you can see header, bearer authentication token. Remember I say key, so that's your application key, pretty long key. Code success means what is the success means, right? And if your error 404, remember we talked about 401, yes or no? And then if everything is successful, you will get 1 object. Do you guys agree? Because you are asking particular object only. Questions? See how easy it will become now, because you know the concept. So it's easy, and very soon we will do the lab, so it will be a lot easier. Good. That's now I'll show you post and put, and then we'll take a small break. Okay, I'll quickly go to post. So that's you can see post. So post means I want to create, but what I want to create? User. Do you guys agree or not? Remember entity. Entity, without entity, web service will not work. You need to know what entity you're working. So your user. So if you're doing post, remember we talked about body. So that is a body which is here. Body is here. So you're passing username and you're passing email in a JSON form. And header we talk about, that is together it creates envelope. But in post, you're not passing URL parameter. And success and failure you already know. Make sense? And if I do put, I'll go back here, delete. So delete you already know. Delete is just like passing a parameter here, 1. So if I say delete 6, that's required. So if you want to delete that, and it's going to give you success. If it's 2-4 error, and then your key. You're deleting that. So you as a QA, your goal is not only test 1 service, but you're going to test 4 services. Why? Because that belongs to 1 entity. Get, post, put, and delete. Company normally create much more web services for 1 entity. So like example, if I have entity is movie, please understand. If I have entity movie, so here, listen carefully, please. Here you are looking movie by ID. You're looking movie by ID. But now let me show you. IMDb. So if I go to IMDb, what is this one? This is the category. And if I write here speed, what am I writing here? ID or name?
Name.
So get movie by name. You guys agree?
Yes.
Again. Now if I pass here 2020. So that is search movie by text. Do you agree? Because I did not write complete movie name. Right? Also, let's say actor, what is our actor name? Bruce. Now, did I type movie?
No.
So get movie by actor. So one entity can be searched by many ways. Like example, I can search student by phone number. So that's another service. Get student by email, another service. Get student by last name. Get student by address. So there are tens of ways you can get the entity. So if company expose more get interface, get by email name, get by phone number, get by address, then you will be busy. Yes or no? But it won't be difficult for you because you already know JSON. It is not going to change much work from you. You're going to change the endpoint. You're going to call get by name, then you are passing name. If you say get by ID, then you're passing ID. If you say get by email, then you're going to pass email. But at that time, you were expecting one entity or more entity. Most likely, one or more. If you pass ID, guaranteed one. But if you pass last name, there will be many people will have same last name. Do you guys agree or not? So that is what you are going to do. And it is quite easy. Good news, if you know one entity, rest of the entities are identical. There is no difference. The only thing you will change is the payload. Make sense? Healthcare payload will be quite complex than a normal payload. So if you work in the healthcare industry, your payload will be quite complex. It may take time to create this payload. But once you create the payload, you just use it forever. Maybe changing here and there names. Sounds good? Any other questions? Can I count everyone is clear so far? So we'll take a break. After break, as we discuss about it, we'll go through this sequence of lab. So make sure you stretch yourself. We have to go through, and I want to make sure you are able to do the lab. It may take a 1 hour around, but I hope clarify the concept. In your homework, you are going to do contract, which we discuss in a great detail today. If you do the contract, then this class is valuable. If you don't do the contract, if you don't do homework for contract, trust me, it's useless. So without contract, web service testing is impossible. Make sense or not? So just like anything you do, this is your requirement. What you test is your contract, because your contract will give you everything: what error code, what error message, what is required, what is not required, what is the entity, what are the operations are supported, what is the way you authenticate. All those things will be in the contract. So if contract is given to you, you can do good job in a testing. Sounds good? So let's take a break. So life is good. Let's continue now. So right now, who else we have online? We're gonna do lab, okay? So Jose, Leah is there, okay? Milan is there. Okay, Olai, Tenzin. That's what I was thinking. Okay, perfect. So let's get started. Step-by-step exercise. This is only one exercise we have, but it's going to take around 1.5 hours. If you're lucky, it will work, guarantee. What happened with Ali? He will be still lab. Okay, because all are sequential. So let's get started. First thing first, you all have to go to Google and write AWS console login. AWS console login. AWS console login. AWS console login. Okay, everyone, relax and enjoy. And stop me as soon as you have problem. Don't stop me after 30 minutes, because honestly, we cannot go 30 minutes back. Okay, I'll try my best. I'm gonna draw it, I'm going to explain it, but try to stop me if you are a couple of minutes here and there. If you are behind like too much, then you have to watch recording, because we will not be able to go back for too much. Right? AWS console login. Now you will see AWS console login. So AWS itself, management console. Let's click on it. The first one. So you can see AWS console login, and then I got a link. All those links are AWS, so no problem. You can click on it. Good. So if I click on it, I'm able to come here. Now, those who are first time accessing that, those who are first time, you have to click here and you have to sign up. I'll show you. Those who already have account, give a couple of minutes, because you can sign up here. So those who are existing account, existing user, they can sign here. And those who are new, they have to click here. So right now, I'm assuming some of you are brand new. You're going to click here. So when you click on here, it will give you options that you want to create a new account. You can see there's an option here, create a new account. I would strongly suggest you create an account with the email and then it will send you a link and follow the process. During this process, it will ask you enter your credit card. Follow that. It may not take more than 2 minutes. So I'll give you 2 minutes to process and create an account. Make sure you write a correct email address. It will send you a link, and you should be able to get. I will show you everything. Always personal. Your title is student. Company is taste. Only you need email address correct. Always personal. Okay. And make sure everything else you can write student. Company name is taste. Title is maybe a student or title, whatever it is. But email is the valid thing you need. Right? We are not creating a business account. We're going to do personal. It's a 1 year free. So you will get very limited charge because it's a 1 year. Good. People, when on the phone, if you are done, then give me thumbs up. So at least I know that you are complete. How many of you are done in class? All? Arthur? In the process? Ramesh, you are in process, right? Okay. They will ask credit card. Don't worry about. They're not going to charge you. They just ask it because they want to verify that you are a valid user. Because tomorrow, if you use resources, they're going to charge your credit card also. So they do charge, but not that much. This account will last forever. I've been using this account for more than 12 plus years, and it's good. It works. They are basically, it's all about the event.
Someone was trying to do that, but there's nothing like in virtual person. They were in the last minute.
Yeah, it's just because you're there, it's easy for them to market and collaborate with others. It's a good event, by the way. In case if you go, you need to have group. Otherwise, you get bored. I went a couple of times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good event when they're presenting and all. It's so much fun. You have opportunity to meet, but what are you gonna do before and after, right? You need to have like some friends and group because these events are really good events. Sometimes 3 days, sometimes 5 days. Lots of vendors and suppliers are there. If you are looking for job and all, you can help. Then
basic support. Yeah.
basic. If you can remove the basic support also, which is the last one, the cheapest one. Basic is fine. Right? In case if they ask support, ideally you don't need support, but if there is no other option, just select basic and let's move on. Okay. I'll give one more minute and I'll move forward. So make sure you do speed up the process. And that is this reason I'm emailing everyone. Hey, create an account, so we'll save some time. And that's why I always tell people, don't wait for the last minute to get a pressure. Always do before, and that's why I send so many emails and all. Hey, this will speed up the process.
You probably mentioned that we have to write test on the. I didn't really ask you that yet.
Yeah, if they are.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm in the right process.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm on the console now.
Yeah, we are in console. So right now, hoping everyone is logged in. So now, let's say I have created an account, and now I want to log in. always see on the screen, because if you don't see, it will not be clear. So let's say I have AWS console login. So I go to AWS console login. So when I go to AWS console login, I come here and then I click on this link. Again, the same link, AWS console link login. And when I click on it, this time I will not sign up. Instead, I'll say logging back. So this is I did first time for a new user. And now I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to click on sign up. So here I click on log back in. Make sure you see on the screen, otherwise you will not be able to do a single lab. Okay. So you are going to use your own risk if you don't pay attention. So this entire lab is one. So you're going to log in. Okay. So when you log in, same thing. You are always logging as a root user. So you are logging as a root user and you use your email address, whatever email address you use. So you use your email address. Okay. And when you use your email address, please understand this is your email address. Enter your email address and now click on next. They will give you CAPTCHA. So you can see email address and then they will give you CAPTCHA. Okay, CAPTCHA. So click on next. Now enter your password, whatever password you did, make sure you write it down so you don't forget, because there is hard to get the password back. So you can sign in. And at this moment, can I count everyone is here? If you are here, I want to say congratulations. It took me maybe, very good. When I started that time, I was maybe 29, 20, maybe 31, maybe 32 years old. And you are ahead than me. Now you have account, right? So fast. But as we progress, more and more people are using cloud. So our kids will have account much faster than our age. But welcome. You are in AWS Cloud. Your resume should be updated with AWS Cloud knowledge. Tonight, we are creating our first thing called machine in a cloud. This is called VM. There are so many clicks I'm going to do. I'm not going to explain all of them. I do have a video. I will happy to add that video in the Google class, which you can watch and listen and all, because it requires a lot more detail, but that is not the class we are teaching right now. Our class is about web services. So I want to make sure I control that. But there are tons of things I have in the video. I'll put the video in our forum. But right now here, type EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Cloud Computing. Elastic Cloud Computing. Elastic Cloud Computing. Elastic Cloud Computing means Elastic Cloud Computing. Cloud Computing. Now, Elastic Cloud Computing gives you infrastructure. Infrastructure means virtual machines. So we're going to click on this link. We're going to click on this link. And when you click on this link, you will go to console. So click on this link and you will go to console. So click on this and you will go to console. You see blue color? Click on that and it will take you console. So click on this link and it will take you console. So now your new dashboard type of thing, right? And this is what I was talking about version, in case if you did not remember that. So right now I'm using new version, but if I go there, I use old version. Makes sense? So company does give you opportunity to toggle version 1 versus version 2 for a few months, and then they will remove the old version. Can I count everyone is here? Now we're going to create a machine. Now when you create a machine, normally machine means what? As a normal understanding, machine means first is the machine. Then on that machine, you need a hardware, which is CPU, please understand. Then you need a memory, yes or no. Then you need a hard disk and other aspects. So CPU, memory, hard disk, that's called machine. And on top of machines, you will have operating system, OS, which is the operating system, which here we call AMI. Speak with me. AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image. Image means operating system. After this operating system, you will select means operating system. We're going to select is Windows because it will be easier for first. I'll show you how to do Linux also later on, but we will select Windows. So CPU, memory, hard disk, that will decide machine. Operating system will select Windows, and when we do that, it will take around 2 minutes to create my machine in cloud. My machine will be created in cloud. which I will be using from my laptop. So I will use my laptop and I'll connect that machine. And these connections we are going to do through RDP. Speak with me. RDP again. RDP stands for remote desktop. Remote. Make sure you use this word. And the reason I'm reminding you, in interview, these words will make you professional. If you do not know this word, it will look like you don't know. So that's why I'm reminding you this word, RDP, remote desktop. So this key will be creating through AWS and we'll download on our machine. We'll download that key in our machine. So when that downloaded key we will use here in order to connect. If I don't have we're going to create a machine, we'll download the key, and then once we have RDP file, using RDP file, we use the key and we'll connect. Make sense? This is around 30-minute process. If you follow, we should be able to do entire lab in 1 hour. Okay? Good. So now we're going to create here. You scroll down, there is an option called launch instance. Yes. And now there is a tiny button. If you click on the tiny button, there is an option called launch instance. So let's click on it. Good. Okay, don't do multitasking because this is very interesting lab and I'm sure you will enjoy it. The launch instance. Good. Life is good. Now write down the launch instance name. Today's date is March 2. So we'll say Windows VM March 2. So that way we know that we created this machine. So you can see Windows VM March 2. Try to create names so you can easily remember when you come next week. Easy. Don't take too much time, okay? Because this is simple. Typing Windows March 2. Now we talk about AMI, Amazon Machine Image. Make sure you select Windows. Select Windows. So select Windows, say yes. It's okay to say yes. Because if you accidentally select wrong, then we are in trouble. So we select Windows. So it automatically select, when you click on this, it automatically select the base edition, which is fine because it's a free. Okay. Don't be scared. We are not doing any coding. Okay, just clicking. Right? Anybody can follow the instance type. We are going to select free one, which is by default selected. We don't have to do anything. Pretty good. Very nice. Little smile on face. We are moving ahead. Now, key pair. Remember, we talked about we need a key. So here we are going to create a new key. So we're going to click here. We're going to create a new key. We're going to click here. Create a new key. So when I click on create a new key, we're going to use our name. So here March 2. So we're going to use March 2 because we know that this is March 2 key. Each machine can have its own key, or one key can apply to many machines. But if you don't have a key, you cannot use machine. So it's very important that you identify the key. March 2. Clear? But it's okay to say yes. You're done? Already problem? Could you help us? This first step we are gone, huh? Could you help? Otherwise it will be lost the entire one. There was a link on the screen. Could you help some? There was a link, right? It's okay to sit next to Ramesh. It's okay to sit next to someone. People on phone, are you guys doing good so far? Yeah. Because otherwise you have to watch entire video again for 2-3 hours, which is unnecessary. You can do smoothly with me, right? I'm not going fast, but you have to pay attention on screen. Remember, learning starts by focus because you are learning so many things in 1.5 hours. Yeah. So far, so good. Okay. Now, as soon as I click on this key, it will download it. It will download the key. So let's click on it and it will download. Say yes. These steps, if you forgot, we are in trouble because we cannot use that machine now. So the key first we download. So the good news, it downloaded. Right? Make sure you have that. Now scroll down. Now we come with the networking. We are all the networking. I'm not going to explain deep, but you have to make sure you check these two boxes because we are going to check web services. So we need to make sure we check this thing. You know, web services are following HTTP and HTTPS protocol. So we're going to do check. We are making sure this is check. Again, what is this? It is nothing but your machine is by default protected. So we need to allow HTTP and HTTPS access from this machine. That's what we are saying. And we are also saying that I will be connecting through RDP, means from my laptop, I'm going to connect. If I remove this, then I will not be able to connect. Make sense? So this allows me access. I can connect from my machine, which is RDP, and I'm saying anybody can access this machine through HTTP URL. So HTTP URL is allowed to access. So this is we are proactively doing check. Where? Check. Good. Now scroll down. We're almost done. So now stop here. I will just review it, making sure you clearly understand. We give a machine name. We select the Windows operating system because I believe Windows will be easier for you to get going than Linux. Linux will do later if needed, but Windows is easy because you are using Windows machine. Now we selected Windows Server, which is by default free. So that's why we are using free version. We scroll down. We use T2 Micro, which is nothing but CPU, memory, and all. You can see that machine. And this is also free, so we use that free version. Then we scroll down. We click on the create new key, and we specify March 2, and we downloaded the key. This is the important step. Then we scroll down, and we say we're going to create a security group, which is not necessary that you remember that, but this is the 14, the name of my security group, and I say I need this check marks all. So this firewall will be automatically configured for me. It means I will have my machine accessible from RDP, and I should be able to access HTTP. Now scroll down. Now you're ready to launch the instance. Launch instance means you are saying provision. Amazon, give me the one machine. Now Amazon will create a machine in cloud. This will be blocking call or async call or sync call.
Sync.
This will be async call because it's going to take 2 minutes. Right now you are using EC2 service. Whatever you selected right now, it created JSON. It created a JSON for you. That you said operating system is Windows, you said machine is like that, you create a JSON, and now you're about to call EC2 web service. So if I'm about to create machine, am I going to do put, get, or post?
Good.
Post.
Post. Am I about to create a machine? So AWS is every step you are using web service. So AWS is known as a web services because right now, as soon as I click this button, I'm calling EC2 web service and say create machine for me with this JSON. JSON means key value. I need a machine this, operating system this, security group like this, like that. Now you are clicking it. So let's click it. So as soon as you click it, you're going to get ID. Remember I told you, you're going to get instant ID. So why you get instant ID? You will see instant ID. This is your job ID. Now we are decoupled. This guy received the and gave you job ID. Now we are going to check. Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? But it is async call because you got ID. Yes or no? You did not get a success or failure. You just got ID because your request is in progress. Can I count everyone is able to click here? Awesome. Now let's click on this ID. Click on this ID. And you will see it is right now spinning. Spinning is means taking time. It's going to create it. So right now it is creating. You can see right now it's running. Until you get a status check 2 by 2, you are not done yet. So it will take a while, maybe a minute or two. That's why it's async. Until it is 2 by 2, we have to wait. So right now it's running. It's running. It may take a while. Can I count everything understanding? Right? While it is coming, why don't you click here? Just click here once. Just click here, please follow. Click here. So if you click here, you will get a details. That is your machine details. That is your machine details. Make sure you click here and you will see machine details. Now from there, click on the networking. So you can see machine, your IP address and all. So from here, you click here in networking. So you can see your machine details. Make sure you follow me. You click here and networking. If you are behind, always ask your neighbors because it's important that you follow me, right? So you click on it and click on networking. Now here, there are a few things you may need. One, IP address. And you need a public IP. So think about that. If your computer has IP address. Every computer in the world which is networkly connected, they have IP address. So just like your machine has IP address, the cloud machine also will have an IP address. If you want to connect to the machine, you do need a public IP address. So this is the powerful information. Make sense? That is this machine IP address. Using this IP address, we said we will be able to access this machine. Good enough? Say yes? Awesome. It may take a while. So right now, it says it's initializing. Things are going well. In case if you want to refresh the view, they have a refresh button here. So if you click on this, it will check. It's kind of clicking and checking the status. So if I click here, it may not take long time. Within 2 minutes, you should be able to do that. So if you click here in 2 minutes, you will be able to see that. You need to give around 2 minutes. It takes 2 minutes time.
Checks fast.
So you are faster. So let's see. I will also get it because I think maybe a little bit behind after you, maybe a 30-second delay. But if you are able to do, I would say congratulations. You know how to create a machine in cloud. Good job. Very good job. The step up to this we are already done. So we are here up to this we are done. That was not that bad. It took like around 15 minutes, maybe. Quite easy. So far, so good. Yes, sir. Now let's see if it is done for me. And still not done. What's going on? Today is not my day or what? Huh? It's kind of slow. No, I accidentally selected Virginia. I think you might have. So I'm kind of traveling to Virginia back and forth. My service is there, so it's taking a little time. No problem. This is the region. It's where my server will be created. Yeah, Ohio would be faster, but I think accidentally I selected Virginia. Bear with me, maybe a couple of more seconds. Let me refresh here. Then. That might be force. Searching. Still not. So this is like, that's the reason it is blocking. Sorry, async, because you're not going to get response quickly. I can do the work, but this is not working, which is fine, but I'm still working. If it's a blocking, I could not do anything, right? So that's why we do async. I'm hoping that majority of you would have 2 by 2. If you got that, thumbs up. Give me thumbs up. So almost 100% in the classroom. On people on phone, are you guys able to do it?
No, my.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Hey, yeah. Look at that. So if you are able to do, we are moving to now next step. We are going to access. So we have to access our box. Access Windows box. Few clicks and we are done. I just want your simple thing, focus on screen. Because human nature, we'll easily something else. So make sure focus. Few minutes and we will be able to access the Windows machine. So first thing first, I click on my instance. So I click on the instance and then I right click it. Then I right click it and I say connect. So please understand, I click and right click and I say connect. When I connect, I'll get a dialog box like that. Say yes. Now over there is a concept called RDP client. So let's click on it. Ramesh, are you? You always ask Raj, okay? He's very knowledgeable because you have taken the AWS class before. Remember, you need to sit next to your neighbor too, so that way you get more help, right? No one is biting here, so please get the help. I can draw it, I can do it, but in case if you are needed help, it's good to have a neighbor next to you. Huh? You don't like? They bite? They bite? Okay. Good. Right, follow me. Okay, we are 25% done. So now let's continue. RDP client. So click on RDP client. Say yes. Right. Make sure you keep saying the reason you are saying you're more focused. That's the reason I'm asking you to yes. Because if you don't focus, you naturally dreaming, right? Something else. Because it's a lot of steps. One step can, if you take a detour, we are in trouble. So that's why it's very important. Follow the steps. So you're RDP. Now we're going to say connect using RDP client. So this is already selected, no problem. Now if you scroll down, it is saying download remote desktop file. So click on it. So it will download one file called RDP file. It will download. Click on it. Say yes, it downloaded RDP file. You can see that. Say yes. Now I want to just give you an idea. Our password is hidden here. But this will give me encrypted password. Listen carefully. It gives me encrypted password. Encrypted means I will not understand the password. But using this key, I can convert normal password. I can convert a normal means readable password. Make sense? So I have to use magic here. And that magic requires few clicks. So if you pay attention, you will be able to do it. It's not complex at all. I taught this thing 9th grader also. Trust me. When my high school internship, they all did it. Okay, so it's very simple. We are not writing a single line of code. Okay, scroll down a little bit, and you can see here you have an option called get password. Say yes, click on it. So if you click on say yes so far, now it is saying upload your private key, and we have a private key we downloaded. Remember March 2 we created. So click on it and find that key. Normally that key go in your download folder. So click on here and select your download folder. You will have a key. If you see that key, double click on it. Most likely it will be in a download folder. If you see it, just double click on it. Say yes. Right? Now your key will be visible, very scary key. Do you agree or not? Very scary. You will not be remembered. That's why they give you so complex key. And using this key, we are saying, get me the password. So you click on the decrypt password, and it will give you password in English text. Say, ta-da! Did you guys see the password here? Yes. How many of you got it? Almost everyone? See magic? Please copy this and put it somewhere where you have that access. So I normally copy in my notepad. Whichever place you want to copy that, so you will have access to that password because you will need in 2 seconds. Everything matters. So know the dash also. Everything you have to copy. So normally I copy through this one. So like example, tiny squares are there. If you click on the tiny square, it automatically copy. So click on the tiny square, it copy the password and then paste it. Make sure you don't lose a single character because it won't work without that character. So you can see I copied the password. So tiny thingy here. This is tiny thing, right? You click on the tiny square and it will copy the password. Good. Now, what is the username? So copy that also and put it in somewhere in Notepad so you don't lose that. Was it hard at all? Getting the password? Many administrators, it's here. It's here. So this is your username and this is your password. Easy. Say yes. Little bit easy, right? Sometimes people don't see that. Even myself, when I did first time, I didn't know all those things. So I had to do Googling. It took me a couple of hours to figure it out. But Now it's not, because you know that, right? Easy. Almost every time you create Windows, this is this. Every Windows different password. Okay, it won't be the same password, not same key. So we are now good to go. So we are moving to the next step, which is connecting. So we're going to connect, access the Windows box. We have username and we have password. Say yes or no. Yes. Okay. So what you need to do, you may be surprised. You have RDP key. Double click on RDP key. Say yes. Double click. 1, 2, 3. Double click. So when you double click, you get a dialog box. Say yes. And allow that dialog box connect, because if you have firewall or something, it will prompt you. Just say connect, and you will get another dialog box. Say yes. Now you might notice that it is automatically selecting username administrator. Say yes. And password, we can paste what we copied, right? So we copy this password. Make sure you copy entire password and paste it in your RDP. And you can click on remember me, so that way it won't ask me again. So I put the password here. Username is already there. I check this thing. And now you're going to say, okay. What are you going to say? Okay. And good luck. You're going to connect to your Windows machine. It is asking yes or no. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? Yes. And now let's see. Congratulations. You are accessing your Windows box. You are in a Windows in cloud. I like it. Was it hard at all? So we are 50% done. If you're able to see Windows, congratulations. You're 50% done. Now onwards, we'll use this box because our box will be, initially we need to set it up, but this box will be our, what you call, similarity. We all are using exact same setup. So if I get error, you will get error. So we will have similar problem, and which is easier to fix it. Let it come. May take a few minutes. Right now, set it up. Not every time it will take this long. First time it will take, because it's starting Windows, it's installing the software, it's doing all the configurations. It's almost done. So few minutes when I get my browsers, and I think we're good to go. So it's coming up. So right now, looks like it said, do you want to allow PC to be discoverable by PC? This is mine. Is that maybe my issue? Was it? You are getting, just say yes. Just say yes.
Go to the downloads.
RDP, double click on RDP.
Go downloads on the order on the file.
RDP, double click on RDP file. No, what is the problem?
He's trying to find the RTP.
It was in a browser, right? It was in a browser, Windows browser, right? When he downloaded.
Yeah, either from the browser or he goes to the downloads.
Go to Google browser, it might be there if you have downloaded. If not, he has to go to connect, download.
Yeah, possible.
Everyone else is doing good? No one is taking the 2 right today? Awesome. Good. Yeah. At this moment, I'm hoping all of you are in Windows. So we are going to now install the software. See, this is all setting up. It takes time, right? Setting up take time, but next it won't take time because we are good to go. So much things is done, right? So that's the reason I'm going a little slower. I'm drawing it and all. So now click on your browser. So this is the browser. Click on that. Let me download Zoom here. Give me click on the browser. So when I click on the browser, it will be a little slower because we are using internet, we are using this. So we have to live with this little slowness part, but that's fine. As long as it works, we are good, right? We don't take a challenge. So it takes a little time. Let's say start without your data. Let's say click on start without data. Start without data. and say continue without data. And confirm start browsing, click on that. And you are going to get an internet like this. Let me know if you are able to get this thing. Good. Now, first thing I click here and change to Google because I like Google. So google.com. It might be a little bit error out, but let's see. It will take a few seconds, and when you refresh, it will solve the problem. Did I type Google incorrectly? You all are getting error? Why? Why me? You are able to see Google, right? Yeah. Because I'm in Virginia. Virginia is different. Mhm.
6 a.m.
Why Google is not giving me Google? I have to live with Edge or what? They're forcing me to use Edge. It's taking a long time than I thought.
I think the internet is way too short. Because I have hotspot, it's
Typing fast? No, but right now it's not giving me Google. That's what it's giving me error.
Yeah, I haven't.
Huh?
Okay. From what I wrote.
Yeah. 1 second. Why it's challenging me? I would suggest something wrong. If I get an error, how am I going to download the software? Let me not find with the Google versus this because they might have secret for me. Let's search here. Download Python. If that works, we are good to go. Okay. So at least they have a problem with Google, not internet. That's just fine. So far, so good. It's okay to say yes.
Yes.
Now let's click on download Python. Click on it. So you are, it's not bad. Good, yeah. So if I'm here, make sense? Now click on this download Python P12. Right? Everybody is with me?
Yes.
Right? Now click on it. And if I click on it, it will give me options. Right? While it is downloading, I want to download my Zoom so I can do Zoom because sometimes it is important. So let me download Zoom. Huh?
We should download.
No, you got it. I just want to show you Zoom because it will help me to Zoom. Otherwise, what will happen? It will be difficult for me to draw. It won't take more than a second. So it's not bad. It's good. Maybe they have a problem with Google, not me. So, see, it's so fast. I like it. Lightning fast, actually, comparatively. Okay. So it will help me to do Zoom. Otherwise, I'm used to with this draw and here we go. Come on. Don't go fast, okay? Don't install or anything. Wait for me. Okay. Can you give me? No, not yours. Install it, but it's still maybe it's install someplace. Okay, perfect. So now, okay, perfect. Okay. Now you download it. If you go to download folder, in download folder you will see download folder Python. Say yes or no. In download folder, when you see Python, double click on it. Don't go fast. Okay, wait. There is a one step I want to make sure you do it right. Double click on Python. and we are going to install this checkbox. Don't forget this checkbox. This checkbox is very important. If you miss it, come back. Don't go forward. Come back. Make sure you do that. Many students don't do it. And then what happens when you install again? So make sure you do that. Okay. And now you click on this button. So first you click on this check, and then you click on this one.
Time.
I think they must have selected some different time. But installing is good. They're almost 60–70% done. They're doing phenomenally well. Okay, don't take detour. 30 minutes will be fine. While it is doing that, could you try to access itexps while it is doing that? Sorry, not IT, Infotech. Click on a tab, and see if you can access Infotech, because this will be needed. I hope it will work. Infotech guide.net. Infotech guide.net. Infotech guide.net. I hope it works, because that is needed. Otherwise, the coding will be a little difficult for us. Hey, yeah, it works. No problem. Now go to your forum. You know how to go to forum, about us, and then forum. About us. First click on about us and go to forum. So just click on that. You get something like that. Just cancel that. Here. Access here, about us, and click on forum. May take a time, no problem. Meanwhile, we are installing anyhow. Now go to your quality assurance. Make sense? Go to quality assurance, login. Right? Login with your ID. Now login. Now, if you scroll down, we have web service overview. Web service overview. Now I click on it. I'm here. So far, so good. Now, if I scroll down, day 2, go to day 2, then you are here. Good. We are almost there. Okay, don't lose. Almost there. So we talk about contract. I think you guys are very well aware. If you scroll down, we talk about contract in great detail. Read about that. I'm sure you will understand how to do. Everything is clear. Now, if you come here, we are talking about right now writing API. We talk about that we are going to develop the API. So here we talk about REST, post, delete in great detail, and we talk about how to create the requests and all, right? But we are going to create our own web service. So if you scroll down, this is the step we just did. Do you guys agree? And I clearly say that make sure to check Python path. We just did. Do you agree? And we are now going back, and Python is installed. So congratulations, Python is installed. Okay. Now, I need 100% attention. Okay. Okay. So right now I'll continue, but make sure you see here. We just installed Python. So we are going to the second step. This step is installing on command prompt this command, which is called Flask. What is Flask is? Flask is a web framework to create a web service in Python. Make sense? So first off, you copy this command. So highlight and control C. You copy it. So you copy this command, highlight and copy this command. So pip stands for Python installer package. Python installer package. Python installer package. And Flask is the web service framework. Okay. Now, here on a command prompt, write CMD. So type here CMD. CMD. Now, when you click on CMD, you will see command prompt. Say yes. Now right click and paste. So automatically it will paste the command. Pip install Flask. So you are actually installing software for Python. Pip stands for Python installer package. Python. Just like Maven, you are installing dependency. Here you are installing a dependency called Flask. Press enter. It may take a minute and it will install everything. Not even a minute. It will go forward. It will go to internet and download everything. Pretty good. Pretty good, right? It's automatic. It's just like a Maven. You go and get it and download, and you're done. Awesome. What was the command we did? Pip install Flask. And that's why I put it in my forum. So you, in case if you want to access, you will do homework, you will do the similar thing. Make sense? Now, okay. People on phone, give me thumbs up if you are able to follow. Good. Okay. Awesome. Remember, you're doing first time, and that I understand it takes time, but if you are not able to install, then you cannot move forward. But I'm recording the sessions, I'm doing all those things. It's always a good idea to have a neighbor next to you in case if you need help. No one is biting here, that's for sure. And always remember, don't do multitasking, because if one student can do, that should be you. Do you agree or not? Okay, at this moment, Flask is installed. Okay. Now, what I want to do here, I want you to see here on the screen. I'm going to explain here. Okay, Raj, you have to see here because you will be blocked. Right? So we are going to create, listen carefully, we are going to create a folder. Please see here on screen. When you don't see, don't understand, you make more mistakes. So we are going to create a folder, and that folder name we will say web service. We can give any folder. Make sense or not? So how to create a folder and all, you can create a right click on your Explorer and create a folder. I'll show you how to do folder. Just like we right click and create a new folder, and we write a name web service. And then we will go to that folder. Okay. So right now, see on and then do it. So this is called File Explorer. Many times people can confuse with this one. This yellow box is pretty good. You click on that, it will give you File Explorer. Now you click on the PC. Click on a PC. So when you click on PC, you get a C drive. Make sense? Just see and relax and do it. As I said before, it's not hard at all. You don't need anyone's help. Just follow the thing. I'm going like a natural speed. So click on C drive. So you get all the folder. And here we're going to create our own folder. So you right click and say new and folder. Right click, new folder. Right click, new. Right click, new folder. And the folder name will be web service. Web service. Web service. Make sense? Now, I was going out. Oh, maybe something happened. I have to go in. Good news, it's in cloud, so I will not lose anything. Makes sense? I can reconnect it, but let me just, don't ask me. I can reconnect because I have internet issue or something. But if I go back, everything will be as is. I don't have to do anything. It should be there. It should be saved. And that's the beautiful part about cloud. See, I'm there. Do you agree? I didn't lose anything, which is good. So web service folder is created. Now go to your command prompt, which is this one. Everyone is with me? Now in this command prompt, write cd space, cd means change directory, c colon / web service. So let me zoom in a little bit. So I'm writing cd first. Cd means change directory. Then I say c colon, then / and then I say web service. So this is the folder I created, right? Yes or no? Web service. So now if I press enter, I'll go to that folder. So if I press enter, now I'm in a web service folder. At this moment, give me thumbs up if you are here. This is our place where we will do coding. Tonight, I'm not going to explain a single word because I want to make sure you get at least how web service works. Next week, we're going to explain more. Next week, we're going to explain more. But I want to make sure you are at least set up. Sounds good? Now, let's go back to my forum. So congratulations, you are here. Already you are here. Now, we are going to write this command. This is the command, highlight this command. Highlight this and copy it. Highlight and copy. So this is the command. I'm highlighting. Now I say Control C and go to Control C and then go to command prompt and you right click. Command prompt and you right click. So what we are saying here, I'm going to create not paid first API.py. That's my program name. Py means Python, and not paid is it's a folder. It will open the editor. So not paid is the editor, and the first API.py. When you do homework, it will be movie API.py. When you do the homework, will you do the homework or not? Right? You have to do it because this is, trust me, super duper. You cannot find this type of thing ever. This is a pure sugar, but you have to do one time more. Make sense? And you will see the power, right? So not paid, first API.py. If you are doing movie, you can say movieapi.com. If you're doing book, API.py.
Can you tell what was the notepad for then?
Editor. So Windows does have an editor notepad, so we are using that. Okay. You can use notepad++ if you have, but we don't have, but we do notepad is there. So you click on it, it will create a blank page for you like this and say yes. What are you going to say? Yes. Click on. So here, can I count everything here? We are 80% done. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. So now go back to our folder, forum, and you have to copy this part. Hello, copy this entire part. You copy this part, entire selection without even worried about it. Up to this. See that highlighted portion? Do Control C. Control C. I did all the heavy lifting on weekend. Okay, Control C. Now go to your notepad and do Control V. Last line is app.run. Last line is app.run. Doable? Right? Don't make it hard. Everything is explained very well. Now we do file and save. Pretty good. Say yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now what this works and all time permits, I'll explain. But right now I want to make sure you see the website. Ready? We're almost done. We're almost 90% ready to start the web service. So now we are going to copy this command. Copy this command. Only Python, this one. So we're going to copy this, highlight this thing up to this, like this. Control C. Ready? Control C. Very good. Now go to command prompt and right click and you have a command prompt Python first API because that was your program. You wrote the program. You're going to say Python run my web service. You press enter, web service is start. Say ta-da! Web service is start. Pretty good. Can I count everyone has web service started? Ask yourself question, how long it took to start the web service? Less than 2 minutes actually. Python, if you know a little bit Python, you are able to do web service in less than 2 hours, technically speaking. Rest of the things is a machine setup, less than 2 hours. Do you agree? So developing web service shouldn't be complex. Do you agree or not? Concept and all took me a couple of hours. So think about that. This concept itself is not complex at all. Now, in coming class, I'll explain how it works, but we have web services starting. Now we should be able to test it, yes or no. Now there are 4 endpoints are there. Get endpoints means you can read, yes or no. Post you can create. Post will cover next week because I will run out of time. But get I can cover. Good news, service is running. So go back to my forum and then click on this link, first link. Click on the first link and see what you get. Congratulations. Congratulations. Your web services giving result. So this result is coming from where? From your web service. So you can see that your web service said that I got a request and I give you 200 status code. Make sense? Now go back to my forum. Where is the forum? It's hidden. Oops. Sorry, my forum. Okay, here we go. Now click on website, my forum, scroll down and click on books all. This is get me all books. So what should I expect? JSONs. Yes or no? Because I'm asking which entity I'm asking?
Books.
So now if I click on that, what is my version of web service? V1. And what is my entity? And this will call get. So you can see you will get a JSON books. Ta-da! So when you when you have more than one item, you got a rectangle box which is called list. Make sense? And each book is in JSON. And you have key and you have value. Do you guys agree? And those are defined in your contract. In your contract. After one, there's a second book and third. So if I want to get, this is getting me all, because when I request all. Yes or no? It means all books. So if I have movie service, then if I say movie all, I should get all movie. Yes or no? So what Amazon does, Amazon say product all. So they get all product. Yes or no? When you go to IMDb, they say movie all. So you get all movie. Same thing if you go to hotel, hotel all means you get all hotels. If you say room all, you get all rooms. Yes or no? Car all means you get all cars. So it is a get, but it is giving me all. Let's go back to my forum. If you scroll down, and if you can say, scroll down, yeah, one more scroll down here. And if you say book, I want to get only first book. So you're passing parameter. Do you see this parameter? Yes or no? So now you click on it, you're going to get first book. So yes. Anytime you're getting books on your command prompt, it gives me clue also what you are doing. So command prompt say I got ID 1. Do you see? It understands ID 1 and you get a book 1. And if you change here 1 to 2, you will get a second book. And if you change 3, you're going to set third book. So if you are QA, if you say third, I'm not getting book. Yes or no? But if I do 0, am I getting book? Yeah. But if I do 1, am I getting book? But if I do 2, I'm getting book. And if I do 3, I'm not getting book. So this is called no list, no book found. So if somebody asks, do we have fourth book? Answer is no. So if I do here 4, just an example, I should get empty because there is no book available. Make sense or no? So this is right now calling, this is calling a books web service with passing ID number 4. So if you are looking for movie title, so here what you're going to write instead of ID? Title. If you're looking for author, then you will pass author. If you're looking for city, zip code, that's why when you're saying search by city, search by title, that's nothing but parameter. And when you're searching, you're calling get. Make sense or no? Any questions so far? So far, any questions? It's working very well. Now, let's understand what we did. So if I go back to my forum is pretty well. Do you guys agree or not? Because you can follow that we are having recording. So everything through JSON, we are able to do it. Now, this whole magic is happening. So this is called URL. What we call? URL. And whenever you use web service, we call endpoint. What do we call? Endpoint. Endpoint means using this point, my customers can request. So if my customer like want to know, do you have this book? And they call my server. So my server is running on my machine, yes or no? I started Python. If you remember, we say Python first API.py. When I did that, server started. Now this URL is local URL. Yes or no? But if you want to access my machine, you need to use my public IP. Do you guys agree or not? So remember we talk about, if you remember when we started AWS, let me minimize. Right now, I'm in my laptop. Do you guys agree? I'm in my laptop, I minimize thing. Now if I go back to my instance, don't do anything, just see here. I'm now in my laptop, and if I go to networking, I get this public IP. Do you agree? And if I copy the public IP, and if I paste this IP on my browser like this, I will get error because it's not requesting properly, because I did not provide appropriate endpoint. Yes or no? I'm trying to request, but nothing will happen because it's not going to understand that. Why? Because the server itself does not understand. But I have that service information here. I will make up the endpoint. Check it out. Please give me 2 more minutes and you will see what I'm trying, and then you will also try. So just 2 more minutes here. So this is the endpoint for local. So this is the endpoint for local, but my machine IP address, which I found from Amazon, my machine IP address is this one, public IP. Do you agree? Public IP, let me just show you again. My machine, this is the machine, and my public IP is this one. So if I copy this, instead of this one, if I might put my public IP, then ideally I'm calling my web service, because this IP is my public IP. It was what? It was one table. This is called local IP. Speak with me. Local IP means I can only access from my local machine. But when I do this way, I'm able to access that machine, and this is the port. This is the port, and that port I'm accessing. So if everything goes well, and if I use my laptop, and if I paste here, and if I get the result, just like I saw the result in my machine, you just need to say tada, yes or no. What are you gonna say? So, oops, I missed the HTTP. I think I copied. That's missing. And it is calling right now. See, it's going to take a little time, but it's going to get me the result. If it is not blocking, because it is possible there is a firewall, it might block incoming traffic. If it is not blocking, we should be able to get the. See, right now it looks like some firewall is blocking. So Windows has by default firewall, which is blocking. So let's disable the firewall. So could you search here on your Windows firewall? I think firewall is on. That's what it is holding. So click on firewall. And let's go to, we want to disable the firewall. So we say firewall. And we'll say Window Defender Firewall. Let's click on it. Click on this one. Ideally, firewall is good, but right now in this situation, firewall is not allowing me to access. Yes or no? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to disable the firewall. So check here. Everyone is following me? I'm going to say turn off the firewall for time being. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to say turn off. I'll say turn off. So you can see clearly it says public network. I'm now turning off, and private network I'm also turning off. Make sense? I turn off this one and I'm turning off this one. Why? Because I want to allow the traffic, otherwise it won't work, right? So I'm doing that and I'm saying okay. Right? Now I'll go to my browser, my laptop browser, and I'm going to try. If it works, you just need to do ta-da. So right now I turn off the firewall. I hope I don't have to restart. And it's coming still. It's searching. Ideally, it should come. It will say it cannot request this, so it means your connection is with this side is not secure. Fine. Let me try different browser. This is I'll try. Just want to see if it should not cache it for a second. And you should also try, see if you are able to access that. So what you can do is let's try this way. You can also try, because this concept will be very clear. Go to your instance. And let me try, and you can try this one, either IP address or public domain. Let me try domain also. Any of this, copy this. Any of this. You can public IP address or public this one. Oh, I copied private? No, I think I copied public. So I'm going to copy public. This is domain. So how I got it? This is the instance, and then I click on network, right? Instance and network. Let me repeat again. So I'm in EC2. I click on instance. So I click on instance, and then I click on that. When I click on instance, I click on it. Then I click on networking. Then when I click on networking, when I click on networking, I have two options: public domain and public IP. So let me try public domain. Maybe that might help. So I'm going to copy public domain, and then I'm typing here domain : 5000, and let's see if that works. Something is holding this one. I hope I don't have to restart the machine, because I changed the firewall. I'm not sure it's blocking that or not, but I should be able to access right now. Say to log response and try it out. Are you guys able to try yours and see if that works? Anyone? Your machine : 5000. Anyone try and see if it works? Meantime, I want to experiment a couple of other things. I just want to see something is not blocking my Windows, because I disabled this, so it should allow now. Are you guys able to do it or not?
Mine took me to the troubleshoot connecting to your instant kind of web page.
Should work. One second. It should work. Because we have to say Windows Defender firewall step. And then this is, we also disable this. The Windows different file can help you prevent the hacker software from the gaining access from your machine. So that's fine. Network sharing and discover. We have done that. So why it is not able to find? Let me, oh, I'm in a command. Let me see my command prompt. Let me see what is the name of this machine. Oh, it is already here, right? On the command prompt, on the screen itself is right here. 1 second. So it write public IP, which is we are using, right? Public IP, we are using this one. And this is the public IP, we are using it. But that didn't. Let me try here. This URL, I'm going to copy here. If that works here locally, then something else is blocking, which we will troubleshoot maybe later. But I'm trying the same thing here with 5,000, right? And if I try same thing, so it's having a, it's not able to find the things, but we stop firewall and we did security group also. Anyway, that will debug later. I want to make sure that two things are clear because you will have homework to do. So we'll do debug. I will debug later and I'll help you. I think the minor configuration changes might be causing, or the firewall which we disable might require the restart.
Now we got 2 firewalls, one for virtual machines and one.
Yeah, but our machine's laptop firewall will not stop because you are trying to access the virtual, right? That virtual firewall by default does not allow, which I disable. I think by restarting might solve the problem, but we are running out of time, so we'll do that part later. But I want to show you something. What is your homework look like? 5 minutes and we are done. First of all, define web service contract for payment processing. Would you be able to do? Make sense or not? Do your best, right? Define a sample request response JSON document for the above contract. Would you be able to do that? Request JSON, how to create JSON? Yes or no? Like there are some examples are here. In case if you are struggling, there are a lot of examples I've added here. So if you go up, there are a lot of examples are here. So first of all, if you scroll up here, so this is one example. But if you scroll here, there are a couple of example links I put it here. And if you go here, I put example here, how to create JSON. So this is like a holiday is one object, right? Employee is another object, right? And you know how to create. This is like an XML form. And if you go, this is the XML form, but you can do the similar thing from JSON. So if you want to do JSON, you know what to do. This one you can do it. Curly bracket start, curly bracket end. Double quotation, you write holiday, right? Holiday and double quotation complete. Then you do colon and in curly bracket, you will write double quotation start date, double quotation complete, right? Yes or no? Start date and then colon and then double quotation this date. Then you do comma, then you double quotation end date, like that. So you create a JSON form, right? If you have problem, next time, let me know. We'll discuss about it. But try that because we spent enough time on that, right? So that two things is your homework. Now you have to do one Python program. I'll show you. I'll explain in great detail in coming class, but you are now going to define a service contract for bank accounting enrollment. So once you do this contract, you're going to do second contract and you're going to do second JSON. So this is like the same exercise, but different contract and different JSON. Now you need to create a REST service movie. So how you do that? So if you see this program, entire program is you have. So this entire program, this is your books. So rather than books, what you're going to do? Movies. And this is the first movie, second movie, and third. You can change movie has ID, movie has name, movie has title, movie has year, price, change or no. You just change it. So you can create customized dummy data. Doable. So you can create a movie. You don't have to change anything on a program. The only thing you need to change is this. Everything is fine. The only thing you need to change is the endpoint. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And rest of the things, wherever you see book, you just change to movie. I'll explain rest of the thing line by line. I'll explain next week. Right? But when you play around, you will learn a lot. Sound good? This one, if you carefully see that, this one is only talking about get. So you are giving JSON back. Next week, we're going to talk about post. Make sense? And I'll also walk you through line by line. When you do this Python programming, remember, don't change too much because this program will work. You just need to change this thing. And when you change this thing, when you run your program, this one, no problem. But when you run here, what will be changed? And if you see that, you should be happy. What you should see here, right? And then you appropriate. So you now understood how to change one endpoint to another endpoint, one entity to another endpoint. Sounds good? That's all your homework is. Now, before you drop the class, we need to stop. We need to stop our what do you call Windows VM. So the way you do it, you cancel this thing first. You can also you come out, disconnect from here, you cancel out, but go to your Amazon, and search EC2. Search EC2. Go to Amazon and search EC2. Search EC2 and click on EC2. Okay, search EC2, click on EC2. Search EC2, click on EC2. So far so good. Now you click on instance. Click on instance, and this instance is running. Yes or no? The only thing you need to do is click on that. Click on that. Make sure you click on that, and then you click on instance state, and you make sure you stop it. So click on that and stop the instance. Wait for a minute. It will stop. If it is not stopped, you have to wait. So click on stop and wait for that to give a stop. It should stop, not stopping. Stop. Wait for that. Give them approximately 30 seconds, and then it will be stopped. When it is stopped, you can refresh and it says stop. See, right now it's not running, right? 30 seconds and refresh, now it's not running. So the reason it is not showing here, because these only show the running instance, right? So through this you can refresh, but it is showing running. So if I X this thing, I will have VM, but that should be in a stop state. So right now, this VM is in a stop state, which we will use next time. So when you go home and if you want to practice, what are you going to do? You come back here, you click on the checkbox, and you're going to say instance, and you're going to say start. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? Start. But there is one problem. One problem. Listen, when you start, then you are starting the VM. It will take 2 minutes, but then when you right click and connect, you will have new RDP. Speak with me. So you have to use the same process. You have to convert password, yes or no. If you use right now password, it will not work. Because every time you stop and start, you will get a new password. You know how to convert key to password. I showed you, right? Make sure you follow that and you are done. Once you are done, make sure you do the stop again. Otherwise, they will keep charging you every hour. Doable? I hope you learned something tonight. Did we achieve our goal? All those things we identified in our goal, we did all the discussions, and we are able to get some testing through browser. More detail next week. But congratulations, your AWS accounts, and next week we don't have to spend time. Your Windows machines, your Python installed. So next week we're going to slowly start introducing Postman. Okay. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. By the way, just to let you know, Java class we are starting on this Saturday. So in case those who want to repeat, let Harish know. So he will help you to invite you. But thank you so much, people on phone. Good night. We'll take care. We'll see you guys next class.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Tushar.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Saturday, what time?
Saturday night.